and we're here doing another job on the shit box. As you can see, the sun's out, so it must be late spring in bloody Bathurst, and the shit box is spotting on the driveway. I'll show you. It was a fair amount, right? And that's the most recent one. I put a bit of that special oil away shit, but I haven't blasted it off yet. Anyway, at first it was leaking from the accessory transmission cooler that I put on there. Now I think it's leaking from the power steering. Now there's 3 different reasons that can leak. The first one is the pump. The second one is the hose. Both of them are expensive, about $100 to fix. But the third one, I have it on authority, there's this tiny little O-ring there, and because this car has been going for 21 years, we're gonna have a look at that. All right, let's go to the car. Now I'll point out that this is a different power steering unit compared to earlier Fords, and it has a different system of connecting. So here we've got the return hose. That's never normally a problem. This is the high pressure hose, and we can see, looking down here, it's got a little bit of weep on it there, but you know, doesn't look like it's leaking. And you're upside down now. Now at the top of the high pressure hose here, I'll put you right way up if I can. At the top of this high pressure hose, you can see I've got some preventative measures in there already. I did notice some leaking fluid coming out of there. So this little O-ring, it's right up in there in the high return line, high pressure, in the high pressure feed line. So it's got a lot of pressure on it. It's 21 years old. It's time to give it a birthday. What I've done here is I've wrapped it up in a bit of sponge in order to stop it from spraying onto the alternator, and I've given that alternator a bit of a clean down there, so it doesn't really look that bad, but it was pretty dark before. As you can see, we've got evidence of leak out here, and we're probably due to change the belt, and I've got a belt, so there's no reason I won't do that as another thing. But look, there's a bloke who's done a pretty good video on this on the AU, but no one's done, apologies to the guy who's already done one, a really good video on the BA. It's a little bit hard to get to, it's a little bit hard to film, so we're going to have a look at that. All right, stand by. When I cleaned it off, and then I put the sponge on, so we've got a fair amount of stuff coming there. So maybe maybe this is the right part of the job. Now the trick with this one is to be able to get onto the 17 lefty loosey, righty tighty. It's fairly tight. I'm going to turn this off while I have a think about it. Well, it was upside down, Miss James, so the bloke I watched took the battery. The bloke I was watching took the battery out of the car so he could get a swing on it, but I reckon we might have room. Stand by. Righto, from there you should have a better fucking view than I do. Doesn't look like the flare wants to go on there. Oh, there it goes. Holy padula. Nobody said they were that fucking tight. And I've got all these long 17s, but you reckon I can find them? Pig's ass. Maybe that's why old mate had to take the battery out. Alright, stand by. The one I was looking for. I've got two of these, but I could only find one. Now that the battery's out, Jesus, man. I'll edit that out because I was fucking turning it the wrong way. Alright, we might have it. If you've had a Yamaha motorcycle, you'll have plenty of 17s. It's a bugger to get to, that fucker. But on the positive side of things, this fluid that's coming out of here looks like the fluid that's sitting on the driveway. Because I've just changed the engine oil. Looks like a quarter turn at a time. It's a tease. like apparently on the Bristol Centaurus engine there was one nut and they had 3 special spanners designed for it, because you had to change the spanner 3 times on every turn of the nut because the access was so limited. The Poms specialise in that shit. Don't break the reservoir, Matthew. This is my Yamaha special. Hasn't got Yamaha written on it, but 14 and 17. Holy Petula, what a head fuck. I don't know whether I want to find that this is the problem or not. Looks like we got victory. The bloke reckons it's easier to get it undone than it is to start it, so we've got that to look forward to. Okay. Well, I guess you'll want a close-up. Just hang on a second. Fucking 1,000,000 spanners to do one fucking nut. Well, you get a real good look at it now. So, with this location near the exhaust and having hot fluid through it and that, it looks pretty, doesn't look like an O-ring no more. So hopefully that's the problem. Alright, stand by and we'll change it out. Yeah, I think I just had the camera on the wrong settings for most of that, so fuck yes. Just under 8mm for the new, for the inner diameter of the shaft that it's going on. 10.7 for the outer. 7.39 for the inner, but this is only real rough, and thickness is 2, so don't buy it based on that. The reason it's green is it's a Viton O-ring. Alright, I may have just all thumbs bums the video, but if you have a look here, this is as hard as a piece of plastic. It's 21 years old, it's been in there. I doubt it was sealing very much. That is the high pressure seal coming out of the pump into the high pressure line. So fingers crossed we found our problem, and now we'll put it back in the vehicle, hopefully without losing it. Oh yeah, that's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Okay, so looking at the line here, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. .78. All right. Looks much better, doesn't it? Now, let's see if the magic fingers still work. spin you right round there. Ah, you fucking... Now, we're not in. I think we're in. But the thing is, if you're doing this sort of work, don't jump on the spanner straight away. Jiggle the hose and thread it in. If you can see, I'm getting turns on it, right? And I've done it about three full turns before I start putting a spanner to it, yeah? Because if you cross thread this, you're off the road and you're in for a world of hurt, because the car's going to be off the road and you're going to have to spend a lot more money than $5 on a quarter of a turn at a time, you fucker. But judging by that old O-ring, I'm feeling a little inspired by this job. Now for trans fluid for the power steering, yeah. Ford used to sell you a special Ford power steering fluid, but when they took that off the market, they changed the specs back to Transmax or Dextron 3. So people may cry out in horror, but you know, now it's a hydraulic pump. It's just hydraulics. It's hydraulic fluid. I bet the US Navy doesn't use different hydraulic fluid for the brakes and the actuators in their aircraft, eh? This is screwing in. It is a fair way to go. If I've been going the wrong way, I'm going to edit that out. It's because it's upside down, Miss Jane. Alright. Now accuse me co-workers of being unintelligent. Jeez, it's not even gone a quarter of a fucking turn. Come on, Yamaha Super Spanner. Well, we're getting some tension on here. Maybe. Still got a bit of play there, so still got a bit to go. Well, it's got a bit of movement in it, but it feels fucking tight, so that'll do that. Seven mil on the return line. That's a fucker. Oh, behave. You awkward son of a bitch. Alright, that feels pretty solid. Now, apparently when you bleed these things, the inlet and the outlet are very close to each other, and it's very easy to get bubbles back into the pump, right? When the engine's running at normal speed. So I have it on authority from the guru that you put your foot to the floor and you crank it over on the starter motor and turn it side to side full lock about 10 times. At that slower speed, you're not going to be sucking down bubbles. I'll give it a go. I'm not going to film it because it's just basic and I've got to jack the front end up and I don't know, and then we'll check it and we'll see for leaks. Pigeon mating dance. Top knot pigeons. Can't zoom this camera. I think that's a male. Rightio, it's the next day. Gave it a run overnight. I gave it a big degrease. Yeah, but looking down at where it was parked, there's no evidence of a leak. Fingers crossed that was the issue. All right. Now, one more thing. What we got you there? That bolts 30 NMs into the socket. All right. It was way tighter than that. I reckon someone had reefed on it to keep it sealing. Yeah. I reckon that's the problem. That sponge that I had, which I don't have anymore, showed little bits. It looked like dust. It didn't look wet, so I reckon it was squirting out of there at real fucking high pressure. Now, if you give us a like or make a comment, it really helps the channel. I don't make any money out of this, but it helps more people to see my shit. All right, thanks for coming. Keep thumbs up for the All Thumbs Bum.